Alright, there is a lot going on in the extreme weather forecast as the South could be seeing severe flooding and tornadoes throughout this week. Before we get started on that, I will say that I make these forecast videos every single day. So if you enjoy following the weather or you end up enjoying this video, you can subscribe to my channel. Alright, this is a snapshot of what the Southeast is going to look like by the end of the week. As you can see, there's 3 to 5 inches of rain in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. Now that's going to lead to a lot of flooding, but to really understand where this comes from, we got to go back to the start. And as it turns out, it's already started. It's in Texas right now, bringing in these heavy rainfall rates throughout all of central Texas, eastern Texas. This is about 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And you can see really heavy rainfall rates. That's about 0.4 inches per hour. So you can imagine if you have like half an inch per hour, what are you going to pick up in an entire day of that? A lot. That's basically how it goes. So you see this band of heavy rainfall stretching all the way into the southeast, and it's just being fueled by all this warm air and moisture that is getting pulled in from the Gulf of Mexico. So as we move forward into Wednesday at 1 p.m., you see that band of really heavy rain fills into Louisiana and Mississippi. Now that's a problem because this area of Mississippi right here, it's already flooded. If you remember, the Pearl River Basin was flooded just last week. There was a state of emergency, thousands of homes were flooded, the streets look like a river. Well, this is going to bring more rain to the area. And that finally moves through. You can see the low sitting right over Louisiana at about Thursday at 1 in the morning. So where is all this moisture coming from? You can see it's extremely heavy rainfall rates over Texas, Louisiana, and then building into Mississippi. But where's this moisture coming from? And as it turns out, it originally came from this big dip in the jet stream. You can imagine the winds are coming around this jet stream, pulling warm air and moisture in from the tropical Pacific right here. The water right here is extremely warm. I wish that I lived down there because I would not be freezing every time I go surfing. I'm up here where the water is about 50 degrees, down here 75 degrees. So all that air that sits over that warm water is warm as well, and it has a lot of moisture. This jet stream pulls in that moisture and just drops it right on Texas, and then you'll see as this dip in the jet stream moves a little bit farther east by about Thursday morning, then you start to see some winds get pulled in from the Gulf of Mexico. So it's a combination of tropical Pacific and Gulf of Mexico that are going to be combining to lead to some really heavy rain accumulations throughout basically the entire South. You can see this is what Texas already has at this point, almost half an inch in the western parts of Texas, but that's nothing compared to what they're going to get throughout the day today and Thursday. So as we move through Wednesday, by 1 p.m., parts of eastern Texas are already going to have 2 inches of rain. And that just continues to bump up and bump up and bump up. You can see by Thursday at 7 a.m., central Texas has about 3 inches of rain, eastern Texas 3 inches, and basically the entire state, except for this very northern part and the very southern part, have at least a half an inch of rain. Really, the entire central part has 1 to 2 inches. And then you can see it really starts to fill in as you move into the Gulf states, where that warm air and moisture is going to be getting really pulled in throughout Tuesday and all the way moving into Friday. This is going to be a problem. So looking at Louisiana here, if you're doing the weather challenge, that is the spot we're forecasting for this week, Lake Charles, and it looks like we're going to get some serious rain on Wednesday. And central parts of the state are going to be in that 3-inch range as well. So moving into the southeast, luckily they got a little bit of a break yesterday. There was some isolated showers, but for the most part, not anything to be worried about. You do have to get worried starting today. You'll see this is Wednesday at 1 in the morning, one little isolated shower in Mississippi, but by Wednesday at 7 a.m., that's actually exactly right now, you can see that huge band of rainfall has moved in basically from central Texas all the way through Alabama. And something to look out for as I click through these slides is Georgia right here. Georgia is going to be getting the bulk of this, and their streams and rivers are already at pretty much at the maximum that they can handle. So as more rain falls on here, it's not going to just soak into the soil, it's going to lead to flooding. So that's where the severe weather is coming from. And there's going to most likely be some tornadoes throughout the southeast throughout this week, as there's just a ton of energy associated with this air that's being pulled in. So this is Wednesday at 7 a.m. You can see really heavy rainfall rates in northern Louisiana and 0.5 inches per hour in Alabama. That really moves into Mississippi, which again, problem because Pearl River Basin just flooded. The rivers haven't had time to move back down, so when this rain drops on the region, it's just going to lead to more flooding. And then you see these two bullseyes, one in Alabama, one in South Carolina, and that's filling in by 1 p.m. today. And then really the entire region is getting a bunch of rain with this one. You can see those really heavy rates, 0.5 inches per hour, start to build into Georgia and South Carolina by this evening at about 7 p.m. And that is the cell, that is the moisture and the energy that is going to lead to most likely severe flooding in Georgia. You'll see they have the highest accumulations associated with this system that's moving through. There's that low right there. That's the one that's responsible for all of this mess. And you see, it doesn't just move through quickly. We're now moving into Thursday morning. All this started on Tuesday. It started for Texas on Tuesday. It started for the Southeast on Wednesday. So this low isn't just going to move through. It's really just going to hang out over the Southeast and drop these heavy rainfall rates all the way throughout the day on Thursday. You can see Thursday at 7 a.m., Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina still getting heavy rainfall associated with this low. And then Georgia, again, I said they're getting the bulk of this storm, 0.5 inches per hour again Thursday at 1 p.m. So really, this is going to be a bad week for the state of Georgia when it comes to flooding. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this every step of the way, so you can subscribe to my channel for daily forecasts. And then that low, it's finally gone Thursday at about 7 p.m. So let's look at the winds bringing in all this warm air and moisture, because that really describes why these floodings are happening in the first place. It has to do with this low right here. And if you notice, the circulation around the low, how the winds go, it's counterclockwise. So on the right side of the low, it's going to be pushing in all this really warm, moist air. And you can actually see that on this map. So right here is the continent. Temperatures are in the green coloring, so in the low to mid 50s. Whereas you see the Gulf of Mexico, it's in that orange to red coloring, which is about 75 degrees. And then these winds are pushing that warm air into the Gulf states, and you can actually see it on this map creeping into these regions where the winds are the strongest. You can see the 75s push into southern Louisiana, push into Florida, push into southern Georgia. And what that does is that warm air moves in and then it rises up. Just like when you're boiling a pot of water, you can actually see the air rising out of the pot of water. Well, the exact same thing happens with the atmosphere. Warm air moves in, rises up, makes a bunch of clouds, they have a ton of moisture, drops it as rain. That basically describes the severe weather throughout this entire week for the Southeast. So let's take a look. As of right now, not really any accumulations worth noting, but then it comes in quick. Right now, this entire region is just getting the first taste of what's to come throughout this week. You can see Louisiana already getting an inch. Parts of Alabama already getting an inch and a half. And then it does not stop there. By 1 p.m. today, Alabama is going to be breaking that 2-inch range. And then really working into the 3 inches by 7 p.m. today. So there's a lot going on right now, and it's not going to stop until Thursday. You can see in that Pearl River Basin that I keep talking about, they're getting 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 inches with this one. And again, Georgia, they are really getting the bulk of this, 5 inches. So I'm going to keep you guys updated as this progresses. It's starting today, but it's not going to stop until the end of the week. So every morning I'm going to be doing daily forecast videos. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a special 1-hour live stream forecast. So if you want to be a part of that, you can subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.